Have you ever wondered what makes a community truly strong? Let me tell you a story about a little village called Suryanagar. In Suryanagar, life was simple and beautiful. Behind every house, there was a small, lovingly tended garden. Some families grew vibrant, colorful flowers that danced in the breeze. Others grew rows of crunchy vegetables, like carrots and tomatoes, while many had fruit trees that offered sweet mangoes and juicy guavas. The gardens weren't just a source of food, they were a source of pride, a splash of green and life that connected everyone to the earth. The air was always filled with the sweet scent of blossoms and the gentle hum of bees. Life was good, and the rhythm of the village was set by the seasons of planting and harvesting. But one year, something unexpected happened. A sudden, fierce heat wave swept across the land. The sun beat down relentlessly, day after day, scorching the earth. The once lush green leaves turned brown and crispy. The vibrant flowers drooped their heads, and the young fruits withered on the branches before they could ripen. The gardens, the very heart of Suryanagar, were devastated. Panic began to creep into the village like a shadow. The harvest was ruined for many. Families who had managed to save some of their crops started to worry. They looked at their small stores of food and thought only of their own survival. Fear can make people selfish, and soon the spirit of neighborly love began to fade. Doors that were once always open were now kept closed. Families with enough food kept it hidden away, while their neighbors, whose gardens had been completely destroyed, began to go hungry. The cheerful chatter in the village square was replaced by whispers and worried glances. The joy that once filled Suryanagar was gone, replaced by tension and a deep, heavy sadness. But in the midst of this despair, there was a young boy named Ishan. He had a kind heart and couldn't bear to see his friends and neighbors suffering. He watched as the village he loved grew colder and more divided. He knew something had to change. So, with a spark of hope in his eyes, Ishan gathered the villagers in the square. He stood before them and said, with a clear, steady voice, "I have an idea. Look around you. Some of us have a little, and some of us have nothing. What if we stop thinking about just ourselves? What if we share what we have? If we put everything together, we can make sure no one in Suryanagar goes hungry." At first, his words were met with silence. The villagers were hesitant. Sharing meant giving up what little security they had. The fear was still strong, but Ishan didn't give up. He went home and gathered the few extra vegetables from his family's small, protected patch. With the help of his closest friends, he brought them back to the village square and placed them in a large, empty basket for everyone to see. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Slowly, something amazing began to happen. Inspired by Ishan's simple act of kindness, one family came forward with a few potatoes. Then another brought some spinach. Soon, a small pile of shared food grew in the central basket. It was a beautiful sight. The spirit of sharing started to spread like a warm light. People didn't just share food. They began sharing seeds that had survived the heat, lending tools to those who needed them, and offering advice on how to protect their plants. The village square once again became a place of gathering and collaboration. By working together, the people of Suryanagar managed to get through the difficult season. The gardens, replanted with shared seeds and tended with shared knowledge, began to flourish again. By the time the next harvest came, there was more than enough food for everyone. But they had gained something far more valuable than a full pantry. They had rediscovered their sense of community. The laughter returned to the village square. Friendships were stronger than ever, built on a foundation of trust and mutual care. They learned that sharing wasn't about losing something. It was about gaining something much bigger: happiness, connection, and the strength that comes from standing together. From that day on, Suryanagar was known far and wide as the village that learned to share. And every villager carried a simple truth in their heart. Sharing not only helps others in their time of need, but it also brings the greatest joy to oneself. I hope this story reminds you of the power of kindness and cooperation. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like and subscribe for more stories that warm the heart. Thank you for watching.